Alright guys, I've remembered my camera today, so we've got some work to do. We're going to take down these bushes here, and we've got a lot of waste to fill in the bins, and then I'm going to go through to the front, and we've got a plant that's been quite badly struck by the frost that we need to regenerate, and the customer just told me the name of the plant, but in case you hadn't realised, I've got quite a memory problem. So I'll show you what we're dealing with. It's this thing. So that's been really badly affected by the frost. It was, you know, much bigger and healthier, and so I'm going to take that right back down to the ground. There's some lovely daffodils here. They look really nice on this lawn, and if you see the one in the background, it's big and healthy because it was protected and sheltered. Oh god, and if I show you the front of the house, there's this pyracantha that we chopped right back, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. The dark stems and the light green buds coming out now look amazing. And if you have a look at previous videos, you can find it. It came all the way out to here. You can see the mark on the floor, so we've chopped it right back to the bone, and it's done it the world of good. Okay, this is very unusual, so it's just pulling out, and for anyone that's ever worked with one of these before, you'll know that's very unusual, because even the dead stems, trying to pull them out are difficult. So we'll just keep pulling these out. They've gone a bit rotten, and we'll see how we get on with this. Okay, making better progress than I thought, so that's good. I'm just going to pull it all out, hopefully. Okay, so we've taken all the leaves off, stripped it down to the ground, and that's what it looks like. So hopefully it'll recover nicely. Most of it was rotten and just pulled out quite easily. And there's a plan B. There's 3 little sort of side shoots, as it were, that can be planted somewhere quiet, and in case that one doesn't survive, which I'm sure it will, we can always have a backup option. Most of it was just pulling out, but some of the slightly more healthier ones were a bit more, you can see where they root in, they were a bit more connected, but it would have meant leaving some very patchy, odd looking things. So we've pulled it all out, and we'll see what sprouts back and keep you updated with this interesting plant. And in this border, and just before we go, we've got some very interesting looking daffodils coming up, and some tulips. There's a red tulip just there, and more tulips down here. Nice daffodils, and then some very interesting bits of foliage in there, some really dark red. But this needs a good weed through. There's some grasses. We need to give it a really good weed through, get rid of these dandelions. Oh, and there's some catmint. That looks like catmint anyway. Alright, maybe I'll show you it when I've given it a weed through as well. Okay, well, I've been through this border and it's looking amazing. So pulled out all these sort of lobelia type flowering plants, are a bit of a weed the customer doesn't really like, and then lots of dandelions as well. Filled up 1.5 tubs of those of weeds, given it a bit of a fork through just to make it look good. And there's a lot going on in this border. It looks very nice. There's these daffodils. We've left some foxgloves and some little foxglove seedlings, one in there. And then there's little things like this that you've got to be careful not to pull up. Lots of bulbs to come up, and these grasses too, which look rather nice. There's some catmint dotted around. And then this will be the first tulip that I've seen. I'm going to edge this now, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, there it is. Giving it a nice neat edge. I'll leave the grass debris on it. It'll just dry out in this sun, and that's the border. I noticed I'd left a dandelion in here, so I'll go after that. Otherwise, that's a very nice renovation of this area. So we'll see what Steve's been up to, and then we're into my garden a bit later. Nice bit of sunshine in the back area. Steve's over there, and just seen an unusual flower there. Looks nice, doesn't it? It's almost looks like a peach colour on that daffodil. Anyway, here's the composting area. So Steve's liberated this end bin from all this debris. We're just running out of space in the bins still, and filled them up today. But we'll do a bit of digging and consolidating one into the other and start off the compost cycle. So we've just been round in this area having a little tidy up. There were a bit of sort of dead growth left over from the winter, but it's a nice spot. The bamboo just there. just on my way to get a wheelbarrow, but that's where the 2 bushes that Steve was on at the start have been taken down. He's just snipped them right down just to there, and that one over there, so keeps them away from the windows. And wow, this is incredible. This is one of those, I think it's one of those berry bushes that just flowers. It doesn't have any fruit, but you normally see them in a bit more of a purple colour, I think. That's really nice. Cool. So just getting a key for the shed and get the wheelbarrow. Okay, I've worked out our strategy on the compost. We're going for this middle bin to empty it out because it's the most well developed, and put a lot of time into that one, turning it last year I think, so I think it's good to go. We're just making sure that any worms we find we'll throw back in the other bins because they're doing the good work, and then anything in there like that's green we'll just throw out, and then any roots we're just getting rid of. But otherwise it's pretty rough, but it's good to go. I'll show you what it looks like. So we've got some leaves in there that haven't broken down, and then some mossy bits, and then there's some bits that were little grass that haven't quite broken down, but they're good to go, I think. Good as a mulch anyway. Ooh, save the worm. There we go. So we'll probably put that on the bed out the front that I just did, to give it a bit of mulch, and then we'll continue over the next few weeks just emptying that middle bed. And when that middle bed's empty, we're going to move one of these other beds into it to turn it over, and then we'll start the compost rotation properly this year. Okay. A couple more things before we leave. There's some lovely flowers down here, sort of bluey purpley and a bit of yellow in there, and they're giving a nice little bit of cover. Wow, there's a really dark purple hyacinth, and then there's this. I can only call them white bells. I don't know what they are, but they're very tall. I would say they're about 2 or 3 feet high, and they look amazing. And then I'll show you the last bit of work we've been doing out the front. Oh, these daffodils are very nice, but I found some really nice tulips as well. Check these out. So there's these just starting to come out, a really rich purple, and then there's these light red ones. These are nice. We've got some of these in our garden, and then these red ones are coming out a little bit more. You can just see inside them. And there's something out the front I want to show you. Just go out there now. It's the last of the work on the bed. I put 2 wheelbarrows full of compost from that middle compost bed. And as we were walking past the sedum with the customer, she asked me to dig it up and split it, and so we've put one there, and then one over here. So we just split one into 3, or I did it at least. Oh look, there's a very delicate yellow tulip about to come out, and then there's these things. They're absolutely amazing. Look at that. Kind of like a lantern. There's a little row we planted here a year or 2 ago, and then in this border they've got quite a roughly hellebore. It's quite nice. Camellia. And Forsythia in the corner there. They've got all sorts going on in this garden, and we'll show you what comes out through the season.